The Switch is the third best-selling game console of all time, only behind the DS and the PS2. So the Switch 2 is going to be another huge success for Nintendo, right? No. Actually, the Switch 2 is very likely to fail. Which sounds like a hot take, but hear me out, because all early indications are pointing to it. You've been told this before. History repeats itself. Turn back your clock to 1983. Nintendo just released the NES, which offered a masterful landscape of new characters, stories, and ways to interact with games that had never been seen before in a home gaming console. Over the upcoming years, it would go on to sell 62 million units.
Wow.
A smashing success for a home console in the 80s. In its wake, Nintendo would invest in improving console graphics, which they would repackage and release as the SNES. But it honestly was really similar to its predecessor, and as a result, this time it would only sell 50 million units. Nintendo would hone in on its graphics once again and repackage it in a system with more power and more buttons. In 1996, the Nintendo 64 hit the market, but this go around, Nintendo would only sell 33 million consoles. One more time, Nintendo beat the dead horse and created the GameCube, which was pretty much a more powerful N64. This time, an alarmingly low 22 million consoles were sold. And in the same time frame, the PS2 sold over 160 million consoles. As someone who grew up with the GameCube and enjoyed playing it, I never realized how significant the difference in sales were during this time period. But they were. And as a result, Nintendo was worried about damaging their brand, and was considering completely pulling the plug on their home console production if they had another flop. In need of ingenuity, they turned to their esteemed game designer Shigeru Miyamoto to design and develop their next console. And Miyamoto dropped a banger: the Wii. Instead of dialing in on graphics and console power, the Wii brought something completely unique to the market. Their combination of motion controls and buttons were revolutionary, and unlike anything else out there, the Wii would go on to sell over 100 million consoles, making it a massive success. And riding this wave, Nintendo incorporated a tablet into the controller of their Wii design, and re-released it as the Wii U, which bombed. The Wii U sold a truly abysmal 14 million consoles. So again, Nintendo went back to the drawing board, and in 2017 released a unique hybrid home and portable game console, the Switch. And as we know, this went on to be a huge success, with over 140 million console sales. Starting to see a pattern here? Nintendo caters heavily to casual gamers who aren't as worried about graphics like PC, Xbox, or PlayStation gamers. They don't need more powerful consoles or games with ever more realistic graphics. Nintendo gamers are generally more interested in novel ways to play their favorite games. So when Nintendo launches unique consoles with features people haven't seen before, like the NES, the Wii, and the Switch, they work. When they launch consoles that are just more powerful versions of the previous console, they flop. And all information we have right now points to the Switch 2 being a more powerful version of the Switch. So I think it's going to be much less popular than the Switch and ultimately seen as a failure.
No, God!
Let me know what you think.
No, God, please, no! No! No!